everybody? Jim here on a cold December night, coming to you from my palatial apartment here in Tokyo, sipping some beer, Asahi, super dry as usual, the Tokyo 2020 official beer for as long as it's 2020, for the remainder of the month. And doing another conversational style video, which I have not done one of these in quite a long time, and actually have kind of slowed down on content on the channel in general as of late. I would say maybe for like the past, I don't know, month or two, maybe. You might have noticed that. Maybe not. But that's kind of why I wanted to do this video today, because I'm kind of maybe sort of fighting off a little bit of burnout when it comes to YouTube. I was gonna say like dealing with burnout, but I don't feel like I'm quite burnt out yet. I'm like fending it off. Like I think I can like see it coming like down the way, and I'm like, no, stay away from me, burnout. So I guess I kind of wanted to talk about some of that, maybe get that a little bit of that off my chest. Because why not, right? Relate a little bit, a little blah, 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 blah. Maybe had a few too many beers already. Relate a little bit of that to you, the lovely audience. Because, if you have noticed a little bit of a slowdown in content lately, the fact that there hasn't been any import game of the day for a little while, and things like that, and I've been trying to put out some stuff here and there, reviews mostly, a little bit of game hunting and all that, but it's definitely a lot slower than it has been, I guess, this entire year, maybe for the past like 2 years. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about why that is, and why I'm sort of trying to rectify that. I mean, we can talk about like import game of the day, for example. I have done 140 of those, and I like doing those. They're great, they're short, they're pretty easy to make, but having 3 of them ready a week and everything like that, it's a little time consuming, I guess. And I kind of wanted to change up the formats a little bit. I think that's one of the things that can instill burnout in a person, is just like doing the same thing like constantly over and over and over again. And for that series, I used the same format for 140 episodes. So I've been toying around with ideas for how to change the format for it, and I kind of want to reintroduce that series next year. So maybe in January of 2021, import game of the day coming back. But I kind of shelved that for a little while, again, to sort of fight off the burnout, which I guess is like one method of preventing burnout from happening, is just lighten your load, as I've done. So that's a series I've put on the shelf, at least until next year sometime, because I'm thinking of, not like drastically changing the format, but maybe introducing each game from a different place. I was actually thinking about doing it from Tokyo Video Gamers, which is a bar that recently opened up in Akihabara. That's a game bar where you can have delicious alcoholic beverages, eat a little food, and then a bunch of free arcade games to play. So it's one of my new favorite places in the entire world right now. So I was thinking maybe like shoot something from there, maybe like shorten the intro sequence to maybe to like, I don't know, 7 to 10 seconds. Make that intro sequence shorter. Make new like intros for the games from the bar and things like that, and just do some fun stuff like that. So that's something I have in mind that's going to help me sort of stave off burnout, is to sort of like change some things up, because I think like that constant repetition, because like the way I do my reviews, the way I've done my game hunting videos, all that kind of stuff, it's been pretty uniform for like the past, I want to say 2 years. Like, I don't know, like you can kind of go through my channel, it's almost like little sort of like eras, like when I first started, and then later, when I started to try to do things like reviews and things, or hard off videos, and then when I was in Texas, and then when I first came back to Japan, and then when I moved back to Tokyo, all that stuff. So I don't know, it feels like these past 2 years I've kind of been in like a certain sort of, I don't know, like in a certain mode where the game hunting videos are shot and edited like this, and the reviews are done like this, and import game of the day is done like this. And so it's been very routine. And so maybe, you know, sometimes you get tired of routine and you want to break out of that. You want to try something different. So that's something I've been thinking about, been toying around with, is, you know, modifying the way I make some of my videos, and getting other people involved too, which I'm sure maybe if you've been watching the channel actually, you've noticed that I've had a bunch of guest reviewers on the channel, you know, from all kinds of different channels all over YouTube, from all over the world. We've had people from the US, from the UK, from Poland. I've got some more people lined up from the UK and like Brazil, and, you know, all over the place. Other Japanese YouTubers. So that's been great. So that's one of the things I've been wanting to do, is like get other people like involved, because I see that like on other channels, and I think it improves the quality on them, and you know, gets, you know, like a more community vibe going, and people recognize whoever's on the channel, kind of like how like Metal Jesus has all his regular people that appear on his channel, or how they've been doing with Media Glitch recently with you know, Joel and Sarumaru and Reggie, and they just brought in Karkamo, so that's very cool. So I would like to have maybe not that exact thing, but something where other people can come on the channel and showcase what they can do. So I've been looking at doing more collaborations with people and having more guest reviews and things like that. And that stuff's all great. It takes a little time to do, but that's something that's definitely been helping out a lot. And so that's something that kind of, you know, keep the burnout from really settling in. And then I've considered like taking a break. Like I had this discussion with a friend of mine. I was like, you know, I'm really thinking about taking a break, maybe like a month or something. And he was like, oh man, definitely don't do that. Don't take a break. You know, that's gonna, you know, people talk a lot about what is like the analytics and the algorithms and all that kind of stuff. And how, you know, man, if you take a break, you're gonna, you know, you're gonna lose all your viewers, you're gonna lose your audience and things like that. And I don't know. I mean, that may or may not happen. There are channels that I, you know, have been watching for a long time that take extended breaks. One channel I can think of right now is Bracy M, who you would have seen him on the channel recently reviewing Warrior Blade. He did a guest review for the channel, but, you know, he's someone that'll go, I mean, a year or more without publishing anything, and when he comes back, his core audience is always there, and they're always happy to see him back. That was something else I was considering, was just like taking a short break and just sort of focusing on other things, because that's another thing that kind of like brings on. It's not so much that I'm like burnt out with YouTube, because I still really enjoy it. Like I'm toying around with like ideas for like how to change and modify the channel and videos and things. But what really kind of, I don't know, takes away a little bit of my motivation is just, you know, everyday life. There's other stuff. You know, I have a job, and sometimes the job can be, you know, a little more demanding, I guess, if you have to fill in for someone. Recently, like one of my coworkers was sick. He was actually hospitalized for a little while. And so it's like, you know, we need someone to, you know, cover some of these classes and do some things, so you work overtime and stuff. And, I mean, that's fine. You know, I'm more than happy to, like, you know, cover for someone and do that. But that kind of stuff comes up when you're already working sort of, you know, a modest little schedule, and then you got to, you know, tack more on top of that. So work can really, you know, take away, like when you come home, like at the end of the day, and like you're tired, like you had an idea in your head, like, okay, I want to go home and shoot this or something. But once the day is over, you're like, I think what I really want to do is drink beer and play my Switch. And you end up doing that instead. So, you know, like work can sort of, you know, kill some of your motivation to work on YouTube stuff. And in my case, even like it's been great. Like it's actually something that's made some, you know, a decent little bit of money for me. Not a king's ransom, mind you, but some decent money is what I've been doing on Patreon, which is, you know, packaging up and shipping games out to people in different tiers and stuff. And that was something I thought was going to be like a few people. Like, I thought maybe 5 or 6 people at max would be interested in doing this, and now it's something I think is closer to like 50 people. So that's a lot of people to, keep track of and buy games for and everything. So that's, been consuming quite a bit of time too. But again, on the other hand, I earn, a decent little bit of money from it. And at the end of the day, I get to see people, posting in the Discord and on Twitter and unboxing videos, saying how much they're really enjoying the games and all that kind of stuff. So that's really awesome. So I'm like really happy that has grown the way it has, and it's turned into something kind of productive for me. It's another thing that could be kind of a little bit time consuming, just because you got to go different places, you got to buy all these games, box them up, fill out all the forms, ship them out. I was even talking about hiring an assistant to help me with that, just someone to help me with like filling out forms and shipping everything and stuff, just to make it take not quite so much time and not quite so draining. But that's something else. I mean, that combined with like my regular job and stuff, those can be like time consuming things. And then just sort of at the end of the day, you're like, do I want to write something? Do I want to record some footage? Do I want to set the camera up and sit in front of it and do something? Or do I just want to drink a beer, play a game, or like watch a Christmas movie or something? So that's kind of some one of the things I've been dealing with. And that's not going to end anytime soon. So I got to figure out a way to manage my time between those things, between work, between my responsibilities to the patrons, and my desire to continue to make YouTube content. So I don't know. We're going to have to like find some sort of balance between those things. But these are sort of the ways that I've been sort of trying to fight off burnout on YouTube, because in my mind, like, YouTube burnout is when it's like no longer fun and you don't want to do it anymore. And I'm not at that place. Like, it is still fun for me and I still want to do it, and I'm I can admit, I make a little bit of money off of it too, so that's nice. It's a little bit of pocket change from those ads that everybody loves so much. So, like, I'm not, like, not having fun with it, and it's not that I don't want to do it. It's just, like, finding the time for it, and when I do have the time for it, not being, like, too tired to do it. And so those are kind of things I'm doing to sort of, like, or things I'm mulling over to try to not get to that point. Changing formats a little bit, or potentially taking a break at some point, or bringing in more collaborators and more guest reviewers and things like that. Just doing stuff like that to keep the channel going, to keep the content quality and like interesting, and keep it interesting for me, and keep it fun for me to make it, and also maybe more live streaming, because that's like an easier way to do it. Although I'm not particularly like a live streamer. I don't think I'm all that good at it. I mean, I appreciate that, people come to watch and everything like that, and it's really fun, great for like interacting with the audience and stuff. But I think I have more of a passion for making videos and like reviewing games and shooting things around the city and stuff like that, as opposed to hosting a little live show. But that's something else. I mean, maybe like 2 or 3 times a month, maybe sitting down and doing like a little live show, or maybe doing more stuff like this, because the editing on these is like really easy, and all it really takes me to do is sit here and run my big fat mouth, which is something I'm pretty good at, believe it or not. Anyone who's hung out with me can tell you I never shut the hell up. So those are just some things. I just thought I would do this, because again, I hadn't done one of these in a while. And I figured I'd like to sit here and talk about something, and that's just something that was on my mind, like fighting off YouTube burnout, not getting to that point where you hit that wall and you're not having fun anymore. Because I've seen that happen to some people. They just get to a certain point where they're just like, to hell with this, and they're just not enjoying their experience on YouTube anymore, and they just, they walk. They have nothing to do with it anymore, and I don't want to be one of those people. So that's why, like I said, get it off your chest. Down in the comments, if you are a fellow YouTube content creator, you can tell me, if you've come to that wall, if you're confronting a potential YouTube burnout. Like, how have you dealt with it, and what worked for you? And if not, I mean, if you just have some suggestions or comments, or even just comments about what I should do with the content on the channel, because like I said, I've been looking at making some changes, and I think at the end of the day, it's my decision, it's my YouTube channel, but input always helps. So if you have some ideas, some stuff you'd like to see implemented on the channel, then by all means, it's a free country as far as I know, and you can go ahead and put that stuff down in the comments. Let your voice be heard, as they say. But yeah, that's some of the stuff, again, to just recap. Looking at, changing up some of the formats and things like that for some of the videos on the channel. Make it a little fresh, make it a little new, come at it from a different angle. Maybe that'll make it more like interesting and fun to produce. More collaborations, more, guests on the channel and stuff like that to spice things up a little bit. Incorporate more live streams to, make it a little easier to put out some content, because, just stream. You don't really have to edit those if you don't want to, and people seem to enjoy them. And the potential of taking a short break at some point just to sort of, get my head together. Hey, who knows? Maybe even, take off for a little while and let someone else take a crack at the channel for a little while, because I actually did that. Some of you may remember, this was a long time ago. I think this was in, might have been in it was either 2013 or 2014. I think I left in 2013. But when I was still in the military, I actually deployed for 6 months. And while I was gone, a bunch of other people, like once a month, I gave everybody access to my channels, and a bunch of different people produced videos for my channel and, posted them. So that was really cool. For 6 months, I didn't post any videos on this channel. It was a bunch of other people that I really liked from YouTube and really trusted, and they took the reins for a little while. So who knows? Maybe I'll do something again like that in the future. But yeah, again, your suggestions are always welcome. Your feedback, all that good stuff. And while I'm sitting here talking, this beer is going undrunk, and I'm going undrunk too. And well, we can't have that. So everybody, thank you for watching. As always, I hope you had as much fun listening to me ramble on as I did doing the rambling. And until next time, take care, everybody. I'll see you then. Goodbye.